Hello and welcome. Today I will be doing the Booktube Community Tag. First question is, how long have you been watching Booktube? I started watching YouTube in general in 2012. I remember this because it was my first year of university, and it was generally a year of discovering a lot of exciting new things in regards to the internet, because that was the first time I had my own laptop and access to Wi-Fi. Booktube in particular, I don't know the exact year. I do remember that Sana at Books and Quills was the first booktuber that I subscribed to, because my friend recommended her as a YouTuber who mainly talked about books, which was not something that I'd come across before. So I'd say that would have probably been 2013 or 14, which means I've been watching Booktube for about 5 years. Second question, how long have you been a booktuber? So I uploaded my first Booktube video on the 3rd of February 2017. So I've just surpassed 2 years of being a booktuber. Third question, how many countries do you have on your subscriber list, and how many countries are you subscribed to in regards to booktubers? So I tried looking through the analytics section of YouTube for my channel to try and work out the countries of people who watch my videos. This new design that YouTube is putting in place I find kind of confusing, so I think I found the top countries by views, but I'm not entirely sure if I was reading the graphs right. But anyway, I wrote down Australia, the US and the UK are the top 3, and the rest of the countries listed were India, Canada, Denmark, France and South Africa. The fact that I've never even left Australia and that people from different countries around the world are watching my videos is just so cool to me. In regards to people that I watch, I'm definitely subscribed to Australian and UK booktubers the most, and the US would probably be the 3rd country on that list. I didn't go through my whole subscription list, but the ones that I could think of off the top of my head were also Canada, Italy, Sweden, Austria. Question 4, describe how you handle your comment section. Do you have conversations with certain people? So getting comments is probably my favorite part of Booktube. I love talking with people. The fact that people not only watch my videos, but also that they spark enough interest in someone watching that they want to comment makes me so happy. I love that people will pick up on different things that I've mentioned, and people just say the nicest, most complimentary things. Honestly, I would have such a big ego if I spent more time on Booktube than I do. I definitely make sure to reply to every single comment that I get, because that just seems polite to me, and obviously as a small booktuber that's definitely a feasible thing for me to do. There are definitely particular people who regularly comment on my videos, which is so lovely. It kind of feels like we're just having this continuous ongoing conversation about the books that we're reading, in the same way that you might catch up for coffee with a friend regularly. I feel like with Booktube friends, it's commenting on each other's videos that is kind of like that little catch up. Question 5, do you interact with booktubers on social media other than YouTube? I do a little bit. I follow a few people on Twitter and Instagram and occasionally comment and like stuff, but I'm really bad at online communication. Probably the person I message the most regularly is my sister, and I live with her. I don't know if it's because I only got social media when I was 18 and I didn't have it throughout high school like a lot of people my age, or completely grow up with it like people younger than me, that I'm just not naturally skilled at that kind of communication, especially as on other types of social medias like Twitter. It feels a lot more public. I think the thing I like the most about YouTube is that it does feel more personal and private, in that it takes a lot of effort for someone to find a Booktube video. So I personally tend to only get really lovely people commenting and following me, and when I'm directly commenting on another booktuber's video, it feels less invasive than if I was to try and tweet them, especially if they're just someone I follow and they're not someone that I'm kind of mutual friends with as such. Question 6 is, do you rely on some booktubers for recommendations? And I would say no, I don't rely on any particular person for recommendations. There are definitely booktubers I watch whose recommendations I definitely trust a lot, because they've really liked books that I've also liked in the past, and so I feel like our tastes are quite similar. But I don't think there's anyone I've come across on Booktube so far who reads the exact same types of books that I enjoy, and that's kind of what I love about Booktube, is getting to hear people's reading experiences outside of my own small little bubble of what I like to read. Question 7, do you interact with other booktubers on email? No, I don't really interact with anyone on email outside of work. Question 8, with tag videos, do you mix it up or do you tend to tag the same people? I really like to switch around the people that I tag with tag videos and try and think about who I think would really enjoy that particular tag. Question 9, have you ever mailed books to another booktuber and received books? Yes, a group of us Aussie booktubers did an Aussie Booktube Christmas Kris Kringle, which was organised by Amy at Polyreader, and that was really fun. Question 10, have you ever visited or been visited by another booktuber? Yes, in Melbourne I got to meet up with Pip, Elise and Amy, which was so fun. Before being on YouTube, the main social media that I was probably most active on and probably wrote the most personal things on was Tumblr, and I made a few friends that I have met up with, some a few times over the past few years. And meeting up with internet friends has consistently been the best experience. They've always been the nicest people, so generous with their time and showing me around their city. Usually it's been in Sydney or Melbourne where I've met up with people. I even met up with a friend of mine who lives in England because she happened to be traveling around Australia and was in Sydney at the same time that I was in Sydney. I would obviously love to meet up with so many more of you guys, and if I had the money or the time I would travel around the world doing that. I find I want to go visit a place where I have a connection to it, and usually that connection is a person that I'm visiting. So knowing people via the internet gives me an excuse to travel off to other countries. The next place I really want to visit is London, especially now Qantas has this direct flight from Perth to London, and being on a plane for 17 hours is terrifying, but I would prefer that than the 2 plane trips that before was what Australians had to take to get to Europe. Obviously saving money and accruing enough annual leave is the trickiest thing about that, but when I do eventually make it to England, I would love for part of that trip to be meeting up with a few of you guys. Question 11, do you do buddy reads? So I'm actually doing my first buddy read with Tash and Shoei, and we are reading the Del Toro Quest series to bring back all the nostalgia of our childhoods. I've never suggested a buddy read before because I've always been too worried that we'll pick a book that I will end up not liking and I'll want to DNF it. So the good thing about this buddy read is that I know I will enjoy rereading Del Toro Quest very much. Question 12 is tag your friends, so I will tag a few people in the description box below. That is the end of the tag. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!